Welcome to the Thursday Thoughts podcast from Free Church. Following Jesus is more than an ideology, it's a way of life. It's never a linear journey, and there's no one-size-fits-all approach. We would love to help you follow Jesus, know your true identity, grow in freedom, and go to live with the purpose that God has for you. Each episode, we have conversations about the way of life that Jesus invites us into. Welcome back to Thursday Thoughts. This is a brand new season, and we are ready to go. We've been away for some leave, but now it's time to take on the next season and get ready for everything that God has in store for us here at Free Church.
So hopefully, it'll be a fresh season of Thursday Thoughts. And so we're going to start with something fun.
Okay.
Unprepared.
Unprepared.
This is not scripted. So, and upon coming back from our holiday, we've had a few questions or requests for marriage courses, that kind of content.
Why do you think that is? Do you think that's like a winter thing? Is it that people's marriages take a little bit of strain in winter? I don't know. I'm just wondering.
It really could be.
Because you remember in the COVID season, how that extra like pressure and change in dynamic sort of amplified a lot of, I suppose, issues that we all had.
Yeah, and I suppose, it's cold. So ordinarily, we would spill out into our garden a lot more, but we're inside the house more.
So winter keeps you in each other's space.
Then in each other's space, then you don't like each other.
Yeah, I wonder, it'd be interesting to look like through the year if there are certain seasons in here where like relationships come under more pressure or not. And
I definitely think so.
Winter could,
and even if you think of
that, because it just made like the weather makes everyone sort of scratchy and cold.
So our kids are in the house from 5 o'clock because it's cold outside. So then that pressure, that noise, there's more inside you.
We're just speaking about our own lives here. It's not putting this on anyone else. Right?
Yeah.
Maybe
other people have
love winter.
Love it.
Maybe some people do.
I don't. Definitely do. Okay, so we're going to be talking about marriage, but before we get to all that,
a precursor.
This does not exclude anybody that's single. So hopefully something that we say to you if you're single has meaning or impact. But most importantly, it's important to note that marriage is not the goal of following Jesus. Holiness is the goal.
Yeah, that's really good.
So if you are single, marriage isn't the goal, holiness is. If you are married, marriage isn't you haven't arrived somehow.
To be all and end all.
You are still, your pursuit is still a pursuit of Jesus and holiness.
Yeah.
So
nobody. Why are you saying that?
I think the church in history has elevated marriage to a point where, certain serving roles and certain positions within church and certain whatever's, you have to be married.
In some churches you actually don't have. You
can't be married. Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
And I think that somewhere along the lines, it's led to a place where we've had many conversations. I've got single friends where it's been, we're overlooked in the church. We feel unseen in the church. And so I really want to emphasize that singleness is not some disease. In fact, Paul says in 1 Corinthians 7 that if you are single, that is a good thing. You should stay single.
He almost said in the context, it's like it's a blessing.
And it's better to be single.
And Jesus talks about it as well. Is the role of a single person within the kingdom of heaven. And it's almost this idea that it's elevated above those who are married.
Yes.
Like your potential for being great in the kingdom.
Yes.
So both Jesus and Paul elevate singleness. So if I'm hearing what you're saying, this is important because sometimes it can feel like maybe in a faith community that marriage gets elevated and celebrated, and then those who are not married feel like, well, what about me?
Yeah.
But in the words of Jesus and Paul, like, hey, it's almost better to be single.
Yeah.
Or
so Paul says
they're equal and holiness is the goal. So this is helpful to anyone married or not.
Yes. So Paul's words are kind of almost in my paraphrase. It's like, it's better to be single because then you're not distracted by all your married activities and each other, that you can pursue Jesus better as a single person.
Yeah.
But then he does go on to say, if you're married, stay married and pursue Jesus. So he's almost like, stay single, it's awesome. But if you're married, stay married and pursue Jesus.
Okay.
That's Amy's paraphrase.
So to bring all this together, we we love and celebrate single people and believe that whether you're married or single, you have
a
equal place within the kingdom of heaven.
Yes.
But we want to spend some time talking to those who are married or thinking of getting married, because it just seems that marriages are under pressure in this season.
Yeah. So to start off, I went to your new bestie. Gareth's got a new bestie, ChatGPT.
Oh dear. Did you ask your ChatGPT or my ChatGPT?
Mine. I asked mine. And it's for 10 questions to ask your spouse.
Right, here we go.
On date night. And I didn't read them. It took some self-discipline. So we are going to start with those.
Do I have to answer them now?
Yes, take one. We're not going to answer all 10. Just take one.
All right. And what must I do with this? Read it and ask to you?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Oh,
if
my
it's dodgy, then we're not going to answer it.
No, we're definitely going to.
Okay.
Okay? Must I go?
Go.
All right. This is the question. What is a skill or hobby that you would like to learn? And would you like to learn or try that skill or hobby with me?
This is deep. Skill or hobby I would like to learn.
We're definitely not going to be able to get through all 10.
No, I just needed to have a lot in the bowl. But
okay.
The first thing that came to mind.
Leroy's reading all the questions.
I know, he's cheating in the background. Yeah. Focus, Leroy.
Come on. What skill or hobby would you like to learn, and would you like to try it with me?
Yes, I would like to learn how to make sushi, and I'd like you to try it with me.
Okay. All right. Cool. Your turn.
So good.
Making sushi this weekend.
Yes. Oh, it's so cold, but it's going to be awesome. Oh, what's your favorite memory of us dating?
Is that the whole question?
Yes, I thought it had more than that.
What
is your favorite memory of us dating?
Oh, we
dated for a long time.
Yeah, we did. There's so many memories. I'll just say like the whole thing. Is that?
No, that's a cop out.
That's a cop out. Favorite memory dating. I think, you know what, I remember when we were dating and we rode motorbikes up the hill on the farm where I used to live. And I remember talking to you about like the sun was setting and we were on the hill like looking at the mountains. I was like, this is like a scene in a movie and there should be a soundtrack and music and all those kind of things. And I've got that. That was a really cool memory.
That was a cool memory.
Yeah.
I think we did that more than once in the 7 years we dated.
Yeah, I think so. That's a cool memory.
That was cool. Thanks. You can keep that little piece of paper.
Are we got more questions?
No, we're just doing one. We can keep it. We can answer them later, or maybe next week.
Okay.
Because I think we're going to do this over a little while. So
what's the point of the question?
It was just an icebreaker.
It was. I thought there was something deep, like you have conversation starters to get to know each other a little bit more. Because in marriage, you never really know everything about everyone. Like it's always this journey.
Yes. So I think that it ties into where maybe I want to get to. But it's that thing of actually, if you want to have a good marriage, you have to be intentional about it. And so it took me 2 minutes to prepare that, pull it off the internet, print it out. And what are the things that we can do to be intentional about building into our marriage?
Okay.
So that is an example. And I thought it would be a fun way for us to kick off this thing. So what do you think are the keys to a good marriage, or how... Yeah, give us your unfiltered thoughts.
Unfiltered thoughts on. I think something that was really helpful for us in early in our marriage journey is we didn't have a TV
or a microwave.
I don't remember not having a microwave. Maybe we didn't, but I definitely remember we didn't have a TV.
Yeah,
we didn't have a dishwasher. So what that did is it created space early on for us at the end of each day is just to sit and talk around the table. And I think we built a culture between you and I, and then later into our family, of having meals together around the table.
And still, a TV is not a central part of our lives.
Yeah, the first TV we got was how long after we?
It was when I was pregnant, so about 3 years.
3 years.
And it was Soccer World Cup.
2010.
And I was feeling so sick, so we didn't want to go somewhere to watch.
Yeah, Amy was pregnant and nauseous and sick. I'm like, well, this is no fun. So we get the TV.
Here we go. I got boring and you got a TV. That's awesome.
To watch the soccer. But I would say that like TV or screen time doesn't have a big place within our family.
Yeah, and because we started that as a foundation, our TV doesn't turn on at all during the week and very little over the weekend. In fact, we, as the two of us, next to never watch TV together.
Yeah.
We next to neither of us actually watch TV. So
Yeah.
if it's turned on, it's a family movie night where
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
watching
So,
with the kids.
I mean, that's not to put that on anyone who's
No.
listening, but you asked me for my unfiltered thoughts in how to. I mean, there's many things, right? So that was the first one that came to mind. Is maybe another way to paraphrase that is we were knowingly or unknowingly we created space in our marriage by not having something
Distractions.
stealing our time.
Yes.
So what could other time thieves be? It could be screens. It could be work. It could be, your activities, engagements with other people that steals away. So if you want to build a relationship with someone, you need to spend time with them and not just hanging out watching TV, but actually intentionally communicating.
Yeah. So that was one of the things that I think that we learned early on in our marriage that helped us is that thing of being intentional. We got to know each other's love languages.
Yeah.
And so watching TV, my love language is quality time. And so I don't view watching TV as quality time at all. Quality time for me is you're looking in my eyes, we're chatting, we're having a conversation. Even if we're doing something together, talking.
That was without the dishwasher washing the dishes in the early days.
So doing something together that involves communicating, being together. TV doesn't count as that for me.
For us, so it's an intentional space to communicate.
Yeah, and so one of my key takeaways is learn how the other person feels loved. What can you do to fill the other person's bucket? So my love language is quality time, and yours is acts of service.
Yeah.
So in the beginning, we would butt heads
because it's like this ultimate standoff.
Yes.
Right? You want to just spend time together, and I want to do things, and then which I think I don't know, fix something or whatever. DIY stuff, because I feel like by doing that, it's serving you, so it's demonstrating love towards you, and you're just going, hey, I just want to sit.
Can you just stop? So we did butt heads over that until we realized what if you are, fixing a cabinet, I can bring my chair and sit there. I don't have to fix the cabinet also because I hate DIY stuff. But we actually can. He's serving and feeling like he's actively pouring into our marriage, and I am communicating, and it works for us.
Okay, so you coming back to unfiltered thoughts. First one, communication. So we've spoken about that. Having time, creating time to intentionally communicate. I think, and I'll give you 2 more C's. Is that all right?
Oh.
So we'll do the 3 C's today. How's that?
Okay.
Communication is one. Christ, of course, at the center of your marriage. I think in our journey, we've both grown in our relationship together, but also in our faith journey that we've been following Jesus. Let me try that again. Also, what happened there? In our faith journeys, as we have been following Jesus together. So being on the same page when it comes to faith, and your church community that's been a game changer for us.
So I'd like to add to that, to the Christ one, is I think that so often we have our priorities upside down. And so I think that our priorities in marriage should be Christ, then our spouse, then our kids, then everything else. But so often and I think because we make marriage an idol, that we put our spouse and then Jesus, and then when our kids come along, because kids in our modern day society are little baby idols, so we put our kids and then our spouse and then Christ.
Or even kids, spouse, work, Christ.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, it just
that order's, in each family, each person can actually take an inventory. Where am I on this?
So how would you figure out what your priority list is? How could you do that? So if there are those 4 things, right? Let's say you're married and you've got kids and you have a vocation, a job, and you follow Jesus. How would you be able to tell where your priorities are?
That is a difficult question to answer, because I think that our kids are at an age where they take a lot of our time. So my instinct would be to say, see where you spend most of your time.
So that's one indicator.
It is an indicator, but if you have an infant, a newborn, that that little person is taking up a lot of your time. So that maybe it's not an easy thing to filter. I think that are you willing to say no to things in order to put that priority in place?
Right.
So am I willing to say no to watching TV so that I can have a quiet time? Am I willing to say no to friends, work, whatever, in order to have a date night with my spouse?
Okay. Good.
So are you willing to put up no? Am I even willing to say no to my kids? So we had this on holiday recently where we had a discussion where we said, it's okay to say, no, I'm not coming to swim with you now. I'm not coming to play with you. I'm spending time here, or we're in a conversation. I will come just now. Are you willing to push pause or to put a boundary in place with your children so that this marriage can be worked on? So in our relationship over the years, people have said, how do you get your kids to go to bed at 7? I say, because that's my boundary and it's immovable. And even now, as I have teenagers, they're in their rooms by 7:30.
Yeah.
This is our time now. And so are you willing to put in a boundary with your kids in order to protect your marriage?
Yeah, that's really good. So it's not necessarily the time spent on a different area, but it's the willingness to say yes or no.
Yes.
So putting those boundaries in place. So for example, we would, in this season, if our kids came with a request to do something on Sunday mornings, whatever it may be, we're probably going to say,
hard no.
Hey, priority for us is to be in church on Sunday. So that's what we're going to do. And we'll find another time where we can figure out.
There's a general exception. So this past Sunday, Beth had ballet, and it only happens once a year. And I was in the first service, but left after the end.
So there's a rule, but an exception to the rule.
Yes.
But it's, I suppose, the culture that you are building, right? Is what do you value most? So in our household, our kids know, we know, like we value time together as a family. We value church. We value our faith journey. We value communication. So all of these things help determine where we're going to put the time.
So putting Jesus first looks like having a quiet time, worshiping in the car, whatever ways that you spend time and pour into yourself, invest in your relationship with Jesus.
And what comes through in your conversations, right?
Yeah. Then your second is your relationship with your spouse, and then thirdly, only your kids. And if your kids would be able to answer if you're able to do that, I think. Do your kids see that you spend time on your relationship with Jesus? Are you willing to say to them, hey, I'm just busy reading my Bible. I'll talk to you in 5 minutes when I'm done. That kind of thing. The prioritize going to church, that's a non-negotiable for us. Our kids don't even they never ask, are we going to church? Unless we're on holiday, then they'll say, oh, it's Sunday, are we going to church? And then sometimes we do.
Okay, so coming back to the
3 C's.
So I've given you 2: communication, Christ. The last one I'd say commitment. So I think when those 3 things are in play, when there's a commitment in your marriage, in other words, there's trust, right? And you have Christ and you have communication. Those 3 things I think create a great environment for intimacy. And intimacy that's not just physical intimacy. It's a deep relational intimacy, which is, I think, really the necessary for any marriage to endure the test of time.
Yeah. And so maybe we can look at another C next week, which would be conflict, and how to have healthy conflict, because I think that a marriage without conflict doesn't equal a happy marriage or a healthy marriage. Marriage should have conflict. So maybe we can address that next week. And I was just thinking, maybe if you have questions around marriage, if you're grappling with something, you can either email hello@freechurch.life with your questions, or you can comment, and we will try and answer some questions if that's going to be helpful for people. We don't have all the answers, and I don't have a perfect marriage, but I really love the idea of using this time to invest in marriages, because I think when you have a healthy marriage, if your priority with your time with Jesus is good and your marriage is good, then you'll have healthy relationships everywhere else. Everything else
I think so.
It'll spill into your parenting.
I think you lead out of the context of your marriage in life. Like everything flows out of the context of your marriage relationship. Of course, first and foremost, your relationship with God. But second, then if your marriage relationship is under strain, right? That's going to infiltrate every area of your life. But if things are good, in the home, and it's a place where you want to be and you're not avoiding, then that makes a difference in your life.
Definitely.
So we could add you spoke about conflict, we can add another C as well. So maybe we'll end up doing a series of all the different C's of a marriage, right?
Okay, what's the other one?
Counsel. So we can talk about getting perspective into marriage.
Yes.
So often, and we had this, we tried to figure out a lot of stuff on our own first, and then only later did we realize the value of asking for counsel and perspective and others to speak into our relationship. And we're like,
it's so helpful.
It's helpful to have people help you see what you're not seeing in marriage, so we can get to that as well.
Yeah.
But anyway, you say we don't have a perfect marriage, but I'd say I think we have a great marriage.
We do have a great marriage.
It's not perfect, but it's great.
It is great.
Yeah.
Well done. Go us. So maybe just to end this unfiltered podcast is to say, whether you're married or single, wherever you find yourself, your one key takeaway from this podcast is, what are you going to do to put Christ at the center of everything else?
Yeah.
Because if you're single, that's going to help you. If you're married, that's going to help you. So if your one takeaway from this is, find a time to read your Bible, spend time with God, prioritize coming to church, get in a life group, so that you can put Christ back at the center of your life. And then hopefully next week we'll have some more great ideas.
Yeah, awesome.
Thank you for joining us.
See you guys next week.